Have you ever seriously wondered if we could travel through time? I mean, really, it's one of those huge, daring questions humanity has always asked. Today, we're going to dive into a source that does this brilliant job of blending the hard science with pure, unadulterated imagination to try and get to the bottom of it. So, let's get this journey started.
But first, I have a question for you. Right now, if a time machine was sitting right in front of you, all lit up and ready to go, what date would you punch in? The past? The future? Just hold that thought, because that answer you have in your head, it's going to be at the very center of everything we talk about today.
You know, the source material we're pulling from today has a really unique take on this. It doesn't just treat time travel like some problem for a physicist to solve in a lab. No, it sees it as a powerful story we tell ourselves. It's all about that amazing space where real scientific theory and just, human wonder, they overlap.
And that dual approach is exactly what makes this whole thing so fascinating, right? On one side, you've got the heavy hitters of physics. You've got Einstein's theories, the totally mind-bending idea of wormholes, and the weird rules of quantum mechanics. But on the other side, you have our stories, our myths, these incredible thought experiments, and all our dreams about what the future could be. This journey is about both sides of that coin.
Okay, let's kick things off with the hard science. And here's something that might surprise you. According to none other than Albert Einstein, we are all already time travelers. Yep, we're just doing it pretty slowly, 1 second at a time, always into the future. But what his work showed is that the speed of that journey, well, it isn't set in stone.
It all comes down to a concept called time dilation. Now, it sounds super complex, but the basic idea is actually kind of simple. Time isn't a constant tick-tock. It's more like a flexible fabric that can be stretched by speed and warped by gravity. It literally flows at different rates for different people.
So what does that actually mean? Well, picture this. An astronaut takes off and travels at, say, almost the speed of light. For them, maybe just a few weeks or months pass on their trip, but when they come back to Earth, they'd find that way more time, maybe a whole year or even decades has passed for everyone else. They've literally jumped into the future. And this isn't science fiction. It's a real, measurable effect of relativity.
So, traveling to the future? Check. Theoretically, that's on the table. But what about the past? For that, we have to leave the world of established physics and head out to the really speculative frontier. And that brings us to the wild idea of tunnels through space-time itself.
These theoretical tunnels are called wormholes, or if you want to be formal about it, Einstein-Rosen bridges. The best way to think of them is as shortcuts. So instead of traveling the long way across the fabric of the universe, a wormhole could, in theory, connect two incredibly distant points, or maybe even two different moments in time. And that, of course, is the billion-dollar question. I mean, if these cosmic shortcuts are even theoretically possible, what's stopping us from building one? Taking a little trip to see the dinosaurs, or maybe witness a pivotal moment in history? Well, the challenges are, to put it lightly, immense.
Our source breaks it down into 3 gigantic hurdles. First, you'd have to actually find a wormhole, something we have never, ever done. Second, you'd need a bizarre substance called exotic matter, and this is hypothetical stuff that has negative mass, just to prop the tunnel open. And third, even if you did all that, you'd have to make sure the tunnel was stable enough that it wouldn't just collapse on you mid-trip. So yeah, not exactly a weekend project.
Okay, let's hit pause on all the theoretical physics for a minute and make this personal. This is something the source material does so well. It shifts from just explaining the science to creating an actual experience. It invites us to run our own little time travel experiment right here and right now.
So let's just try this, just for a second. Picture yourself stepping into some kind of sleek, metallic capsule. The door makes that classic hiss as it closes, the lights dim down, and you can feel this low hum all around you. This is your personal time machine. Now, remember that question I asked you at the very beginning? It's time to answer it. You look at the controls. Where are you setting the destination? Are you going back to a moment you cherish? Or are you jumping forward to see what happens to us all? The choice is yours. And as you lock in that destination, really try to imagine it with all your senses. When you arrive, what do you hear? What does the air smell like? What do you feel? You see, this little act of imagination, this is the real core of what makes time travel so powerful for us as people.
And that little trip brings us right back here, to the deep, philosophical heart of this whole topic. Because when you think about it, maybe our obsession with time travel isn't really about the past or the future at all. Maybe it's actually about the present.
I mean, think about it.
When we fantasize about traveling through time, what are we really thinking about? We're thinking about our regrets, the things we wish we could go back and change. We're dreaming about our biggest hopes for ourselves and for the world. We're facing our deepest fears about the unknown, and we're feeding that fundamental curiosity about what comes next.
And the source we've been exploring just nails this, with one powerful idea. Maybe the whole point of time travel isn't a tech problem we need to solve. Maybe it's a philosophical tool that helps us figure out our own lives right now, today. It's kind of a paradox, isn't it? By exploring the idea of escaping our own timeline, we're actually forced to face its real value. It makes us appreciate the fleeting, precious nature of the moments we're actually living in. Dreaming of other times helps us value this one more.
And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. We start off asking these huge questions about wormholes and relativity, and we end up with a very personal one. How does exploring the idea of when we could be fundamentally change how we see and experience where we are right now?